Hello, hello, hello. I gave no warning, and I rarely ever, if ever, I think I've gone live like once or twice in our entire YouTube journey. So this should be interesting. I should pull up YouTube because sometimes comments don't show up on my phone. But I kind of wanted to jump on and just like give an introduction of who I am, my stories, some life updates, some business updates. I went live a few times on Facebook because I have a few Facebook groups and a business page and all that stuff, but I didn't go live here, and I'll probably go live on Instagram after I go live here just because. So for those of you guys who do not know me, my name is Amoya Shante. A lot of you guys know me by Trippin' Mama because that is the name of my blog, and it's in the middle of this rebrand. When you jump on, let me know where you're watching from. I'm going to try and bring up YouTube and see if I can like see comments if they don't pop up on the screen. But let me know where you're watching from. Let me know if you're watching the replay or you're watching live. Say hello. I like to actually talk to people. But yeah, there I am. Let's see here. I'm going to put it on silence. See if I can find this. But I never go live on YouTube, which is crazy because I do go live a bunch on Facebook. And I feel like I don't give enough like to my YouTube family, and I'm appreciative of all you guys. So yeah, I wanted to talk to you guys. So I am a single mom of three who, after leaving an abusive marriage, decided to get rid of nearly all our possessions, travel the world full time, which we did for 2.5 years, pulled my girls out of school. And then after 2.5 years, we moved to Merida, Mexico, where I'm going live from. And we've been here now for over a year, which is crazy because we were so used to switching places so often. Let me see here. Now I can see comments if they pop up. Yeah, so let me know. Make sure to say hi when you jump on. Hey, Barbara, I can see the comments. Yes, I was so nervous. Hey, Nira, welcome, welcome, welcome. So I became a single mom basically overnight when I decided to. It's like I woke up and I recognized that I was in this abusive marriage. And I know that sounds crazy because how do you not know that you're in that type of marriage? But that's very common amongst people in toxic relationships or toxic marriages. So yeah, Alan said, hi there, how's it going in Merida? I'm in Belfast. Belfast, wow. So it's interesting here in Mexico, and I can talk a little bit about that. In Merida in particular, we have been locked down for over 4 months now, and I mean locked down. Kids weren't even really allowed outside for the most part. Everything is closed. They did in the last month open some restaurants by reservations. Masks are required at all times from my experience. I was just watching another YouTuber in Merida and he was saying they weren't, but they're even required in the car. Like you'll see people wearing them in the car. There's a 2-person car limit. So like I don't have a car, ride Uber because Uber's wonderful here. It's like $1 or $2 for a ride, but I can't bring my kids because there's only 2 people allowed, the driver up front and the person in the back. So they'll literally, I think they take your car. It's crazy. Like I'm supportive, like in helping in any way I can, but at the same time, it is really tough to be locked down for the past 4.5 months. And I love this city and I love Mexico. And I'm just like, I'm worried about the people not being able to work and all that kind of stuff. It's just kind of crazy. Alan said, I used to live in Guadalajara, so I keep watching things to see how they are. Yeah, and I think it's different depending on where you are in Mexico. I know that they were opening some places, like Tulum was open, Playa del Carmen, but recently I heard they closed it down again. Like we have a beach, Progreso, 45 minutes away. It's been closed this whole time. So no access to the water, nothing like that. It's really, I'm grateful for my home. I just did a house tour video if you guys want to check that out. Thankful for the home I'm in. We have a pool, we have a yard, I have a wonderful nanny. So life's been good despite like these challenges. I just worry about locals and everyone else that's having such a hard time around the world. Thank you, Dee. And Merida is lovely, Alan. It really, really is. It's blazing. I'm not gonna lie. I've kind of gotten used to it, but and Nira says I was supposed to go in August. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it. I'll be honest with you guys. I'm always like, come to Merida, but right now, I mean, we're still locked down. I honestly don't believe we'll be open in August. And you come here and the spirit of the city is gone. Like, Mexican people are some of the most loving, joyous people I've ever met in my life. They celebrate life in general. I mean, it's fiestas, it's fireworks. There's none of that right now. It is really like you can just see it on people, on the locals, how tough it's been. And it just doesn't feel like you won't come here and be like, oh, I love Merida. You're going to come here and be like, I'm in jail, because they're trying to do what's best for their people. And it's like you've got this double-edged sword. So everyone has to stay in their house pretty much, right? You can go on walks like that, but there's nothing open. So you stay in your house so that you can stop the spread of this virus. But at the same time, you've got people probably starving because they have no way of bringing money in, right? So it's like this I call it like the double-edged sword of like, what is the best decision here? Like, you're trying to make the best decision, but people are still going to hurt. And then there's the whole thing that's not being addressed worldwide, and that's like mental health. Like, when you have everybody separated and everybody in their own homes, what about mental health? Like, community is so important. That's what I'm about, like connecting in community. And you have to do it online now, which is great, but it's tough. It's tough on kids, like me explaining to my 4-year-old, she's 4 now, my youngest, like why we can't meet up with our friends, or why we can't connect with others. She was used to such an active life where we would be out and about almost every day. We would go on adventures, we would travel, and now it's like you're in your house, right? So it's been a transition. I don't recommend coming to Merida anytime soon, y'all. I will, as soon as it's good. I don't mind expressing that and telling you guys that, but travel has really changed. And it's crazy because that is me, that's my business, like travel and living abroad. And I never imagined in a million years that the travel industry would like disappear overnight. Yeah, I get some people are trying, but it's gonna look different, y'all. It's gonna be so different. The whole world right now is just like in this huge like awakening transformation, and it is tough. It doesn't feel good. I said to a lot of people, like, with the pandemic, a lot of people had to sit with themselves, and including myself, and look at themselves and recognize, like, I don't like these certain things in my life. I'm ready to live and change that. So that's what's been happening. You guys notice, like, it used to be Trippin' Mama. I'm in the middle of a rebrand to Amoya Shante, because I'm talking so much more about so much more than just travel and living abroad. Although I love travel, although I'm grateful for living abroad, it's an entire lifestyle, right? I talk about mindset, I talk about creating a life you love, and that looks different for a lot of people. And I went live in my Single Moms Do Travel group on Facebook, and my newest group, Single Moms Do. So if you haven't joined that and you are a single mom, or you identify as a single mom, go ahead and join that. And I also, back in February, I never told anybody on YouTube. I swear, you guys get the last of the information. So make sure you go follow the blog, go follow me on Facebook, go join my groups, because that's where I normally give like the information. I'm going to get better. The YouTube channel is growing really quickly. All in the last week, it's kind of been crazy. But I never considered myself a YouTuber. I consider myself a writer, a blogger, so it's really strange. But I launched a membership site for single moms back on February 1st. And it started off as a travel, living abroad membership site, and it's transformed into something I couldn't even imagine. It's a movement of single moms changing the narrative of single mom struggle to one of single moms creating lives that they actually love. They are writing books that are becoming bestsellers. They are renovating RVs. They are moving abroad. They are starting their own online businesses. They are doing such amazing things, and we're doing it all together in this space of loving accountability and support like no other. When I had originally created my free Facebook groups, it was because, or my first one, it was because I would go to these single mom groups on Facebook, and everyone was so negative. It was like almost this defeat. And that's how I felt originally when I became a single mom. It's like, oh, my life's over. And it's like, no, man, you are amazing. You can do anything you want to do. There might be some extra challenges, but it doesn't mean that you can't create a life that just sets your freaking soul on fire. So I created Single Moms Do Travel, and sure enough, that's what was happening, was all these amazing women I was connecting with all around the world doing these amazing things. I wasn't alone in this journey. It's not just me. There's so many, but it's not being amplified, and I'm here to amplify it the best way I can to show all these amazing things that single moms do. So, hey Karen! You are one of my inner circle mamas. Karen is amazing. I'm so glad you're on here. I don't go live on Facebook, Karen, so this is really funny. But I've been going live all over today. So I launched this members club back in February, and things just really started to change because I saw all these. I literally cry sometimes in the face because I just see all these amazing moms. And I can share the link, I think, here for the members club. And I want to share the link because currently for it's only going to be maybe 30 more minutes. It was supposed to be an hour, but I'm behind on lives today. You can join our members club, our Inner Circle members club or membership site for free for 30 days. So you want to get in on that. Let me go find it real quick. And if you have any questions, ask me. But I opened this free trial up last month because it's really hard for me to explain how amazing this site is. This is an app plus a website waiting on your daughter's passport. It'll happen though, so that's good. And I think for people, especially if they applied right before the pandemic or during, like really been held up. I know a lot of people that are just waiting and waiting and waiting. But I'm going to try and pull up the membership site. I will drop it in the comments if I can. I haven't done this on YouTube yet. If not, I will put it in the description. Just come back in 30 minutes if it's not here in the next second. I have the slowest computer in the world, and because of the pandemic, it's been really hard to get a new one. Oh, they have it. That's good, Asta. And welcome to this live. So, yes, I opened up the membership site. Let me tell you a little bit about the membership site before I'm telling you that I opened it up for a free trial where you can join it for free for a month. You can choose to stay on after that, or you just cancel your membership site and don't get charged, which is great because I found that when people got in it and they connected with the mamas, they were like, I'm in this for life. This is what I have been searching for. I need to be a part of this freaking movement of single mamas literally changing the game, therefore changing the world. Because when I looked at the U.S. alone, and this is global, I've got moms in the U.S., Australia, freaking everywhere, right? But when I looked at the U.S. alone, there were 15 million single parent households, single dads included. And I was just like, whoa, we are not a small group of people, right? That's just the U.S. It's not including Canada and everywhere else in the world. And this common story that we keep hearing, I think I found it. Let me see if I can share it here. You guys will be able to see that of like struggle and I'm a single mom so life's over. It's like no, like single moms do start their own businesses, single moms do date, single moms do find love, single moms do travel the world, they do change, they create change in the world. So that's what this membership site came about. We have guest speakers, we have weekly mom chats, we have a goal setting workshop I lead every month at the beginning, because a lot of people ask how they can work with me. Well, this is the most affordable way to work with me. It's free right now for a month, but after that it's $27 a month or $279 a year. It is the cheapest way or the most affordable way to work with me. I wanted something that would be accessible to a mass amount of people, a lot of people, because when I entered this journey, I really didn't have much money. I was just starting my life over, and I just didn't have a whole bunch of money. So I wanted to create something where you can have access to be able to write me in my inbox and ask me any specific questions you have about an array of things. But if you have questions about traveling full-time, making money online, moving abroad, you can actually ask me in there. Because my audience has grown a lot. It's quite small still on YouTube. I think we're just at over 4,000, but I have a large readership on my blog, and I have large Facebook groups and all this stuff and Instagram, and it's too much for me to be able to answer people individually. So I gave this away so you guys can get in, and that's where I spend most of my time. So I would love for anybody to join that. But we've got record. So each time we have a guest speaker, we record it, and we have talks on, how to create your online business, side hustles, weight loss transformation for single moms, like a bunch of inspiring stories. Because, like I said, this isn't just me. This is a movement of the most amazing single moms I've ever come across in my entire life. And it's such a different story than what you might be used to if you've entered in any of these groups, and you recognize that a lot of people are like, there's almost a sense of brokenness, a sense of hardship, but this is a whole different vibe. And we're all different religions, different cultures, different races, but able to band together and hold each other in this loving accountability and just like, change the game. Yeah, we support each other in our visions and our dreams and are just there for each and every one of us. So if you're looking for support, especially, yes, I called, they have it. It's perfect. Sorry, I just popped up again, these things. But if you have any questions about anything, let me know. And if you have any questions in general, I would love to chat more. Like I said, I don't really go live here, so this is new, but maybe I'll start going live more often. Let me see what's over here in the comments, so you guys can have any questions. As far as travel to Mexico, I know people are doing it. I don't necessarily recommend any type of travel into Mexico right now. I don't even know what's happening in the rest of the world. Like I said, when I see pictures, like even from my clients where like they're like at the beach and having all this fun, this is not what we're doing here. Tamika, I'm gonna have to stop following you because you're making it so hard to wait. There's a lot of things you can do in the waiting though. Because once this pandemic hit, hey Callie, I'm glad you caught the live too. I guess I'm gonna have to go live here more, guys. I enjoy talking. I do it on Facebook a lot, but yeah, not as often as maybe I can. Hey Amy, so nice to see you too. But I think part of the waiting, we had a lot of moms who were like ready to launch on this journey of living abroad or travel or whatever, or even just like a road trip across the US, and then the pandemic came. And some moms were already living abroad and had to go back. They went back to the US, or they had to go back to their home country or whatever. And now it's this like, I don't think anyone thought, or I didn't, that 4.5 months later, we would still be very much in the middle of a pandemic. Like, I just didn't, when I was like, oh, I'm going to start social distancing, it was right after I'd celebrated my birthday, March 11th. And I think the day after, or maybe that day, I just didn't know about it, the pandemic was announced. Because I'm pretty sure we were still out on my birthday night, jumping from bar to bar with my friends here in Merida. It was such a fun night. And I'm so grateful this was able to happen. We were kind of still joking about the like cheap flights that you can get right now and all this stuff. And then I'm supposed to fly in on the 11th next month so we can visit the neighborhoods. If Delta doesn't cancel, I'm still coming. Yeah, I recommend connecting with Barbara Blanco because she takes neighborhood tours, because it's tough right now, right? And she can put more than one person in her car. But you can come. I'm just telling you that the spirit of the city is gone. So I would hate for someone to like, not move here because they didn't get a really good feel for here. Like, we're not meeting up. Our single mom community, we're meeting on a Zoom call in an hour for the moms that live here in Merida, but we're not really like hanging out necessarily and all this stuff. So it's just not the same vibe here. And I just want to be completely transparent about that, because I think that anybody who visits now, it's going to be really hard unless you're just going based on us saying how amazing this place can be. But it doesn't feel like that right now at all. If anything, like sitting here frustrated half the time and like over it and trying to think of ways to actually leave, which is really hard for me to say because I love home. I love my community. But the thought of being locked down for another 4, 5, 6 months is not something that sits well with me. So we're like playing with all these different things. We can play patty cake from the window. What do I think about what's happened in the pandemic and everything else? Jorge, I think, wrote that. or it might be George. I'm not sure on the pronunciation. I don't know. So I wanted to do a video on this, but I left social media for a month and a half. I did not handle, just like a lot of people, well, this whole pandemic thing, because there was so much fear, there was so much anger, and still is, if not even more now. And I left for a month and a half, which is a pretty big deal because my whole business is built around being on social media, sharing my story and all this stuff. So to leave social media for any of us that works online is like pretty massive, especially for a month and a half. And I didn't plan on coming back, and it felt amazing. I think I read 18 books in the time that I was off social media. I connected with my family again. I got these ideas, right, to rebrand from Trip and Mama to Amoya Shante, so I can focus on lifestyle in general instead of just travel and living abroad, which is my passion. I love helping people overcome their limiting beliefs so they can create lives that they love. Let me see what these comments are mean. But as far as what's happening in the US with the pandemic and everything in general, man, I'm just kind of blown away. I wouldn't say I'm shocked because I left the US for a reason. I love being an American citizen and I love my country. But what I will say is that there seems to be a lack of connectedness. Like we're supposed to be united, right? But there's no united. People are fighting, people are cutting each other down, people are angry and hurt. And instead of approaching someone with love, even someone who might have a different opinion than you, we're like cutting each other down. And I just am just so sad to see all that. I'm really disconnected from it in a sense because I'm really careful now that I'm back on social media and not to get wrapped up in any of that, because I believe that if we can heal ourselves and we can work on ourselves, then we can heal the world, right? It starts with us. But if we're approaching things with anger and hurt and all this other kind of stuff, then we're really not helping anyone. And I just can't believe all that's happening. Like I have family and I have friends in the States and I have clients that are in the States, and there's a lot of pain and fear and all this stuff. And one thing I'm big on is the sense of community and how it takes community. I don't think we're supposed to live a life alone. We're supposed to have community and we're supposed to connect with each other. And that's not what's happening. And anything, because of the pandemic and having to socially distance, which really isn't socially, it's physically distancing ourselves from people, it's become even more apparent how separated we are, how alone we are, and how what we need to do is come together. So that is my best thoughts on what's happening. I'm just hurt by what I'm seeing and trying to create a space here and on my other platforms of positivity and love, where people like the Single Moms Do movement are working together to change things the best way that we can. We're doing our part, but it's up to everybody on an individual level to do their part and then come together and create change in this world, right? Have a bubble of friends. I do have a bubble of friends here. Luckily, we decided after 2.5 months of completely being socially distanced, not seeing another soul, that we would have our small group of friends that we can see each other. Asta says, I'm trying to downsize, it's hard. Can we ship small boxes? You actually can. You can ship boxes on the plane actually too. So this is what my friend did. My friend, she's moved a few times. She literally gets boxes, like moving boxes, and she ships them as if they're luggage, right? So you pay $30 per luggage piece after a certain amount. She brings actual boxes with her. She pays those fees, right, and ships them. I haven't tried actually shipping things here. That's a little tricky in Mexico. It's like really tricky. I think my mom tried to send me a package, took months, and then ended up right back at her. It never even made its way here. I personally probably wouldn't ship anything unless I'm sorry, I'm trying to see these comments. Unless I'm ordering like right off of Amazon Mexico or something, an actual website, because it's just crazy. You got to pay like, but she shipped boxes on her flight. Like she just had like 4, it was crazy. And she's done this more than once. And I'm always like so amazed by this. Nurture strength of spirit to shield you in sudden misfortune, but do not distress yourself with dark imaginings. Many fears are born of fatigue and loneliness. That is so true. And then fear in general. So I actually gave a workshop in my Inner Circle membership site just a few days ago on how to overcome fear in life, and we talked about this. So that is interesting that you brought that up. We talked about overcoming fear, what it was, and all that good stuff. And it was actually a great workshop. And we record all that. So anybody who joins after February 1st can still have access to all those recordings. And we have fun. King size beds, hard to purchase in Merida. I have a king size bed, so I'm going to say no. This bed behind you, it's not California king, but it's a king size bed. As far as the mattress, right? So I bought the mattress and I got it at Walmart here. We have Walmart here in Merida. So also, the bed bases I got made for really cheap by this guy off of Facebook. So basically what he does is like 2 individual size bed bases, or maybe they're not individual size, but 2 separate, like broken in half, make up the bed base, if that makes sense. So yeah, you can find king size beds. I think sheets are more challenging, but I ordered my sheets off of Amazon because the typical bed here in Mexico is matrimonial size. So it's a little bit smaller than queen and a little bit bigger than full. But you can get king size as well. We have Walmart and all that stuff, and we have Amazon Mexico, which is not as extensive as Amazon US, but still you can get a good chunk of things. And yeah, she traveled with her boxes, which I found was like amazing. I haven't tried that personally. You guys, a lot of you guys that know our stories, we traveled for full time for 2.5 years, and we lived just out of backpacks. So really, when we came to Merida, we started completely fresh. And then I decided to open up this like single mom hostel, which we did for 8 months, and a lot of people helped support us with getting this big place furnished and all that stuff. After 8 months, I decided to close the doors for many reasons. I wrote about it in my blog, and you guys can jump over there to read about it. But I don't regret the experience at all. It was tough, and it was wonderful all at the same time. And then we moved into, so for a lot of you guys that found us on House Hunters International, that's the story of that house. And then we moved into this house, which I just did a YouTube video on the other day that explains more about that and explains how to get a rental in Merida, which is a little bit different than in the US and a little bit different than other parts of Mexico. So you definitely want to go check that out. And yeah, but I'm loving our new home. I really, really am. I'm really grateful to be able to be here and all that stuff. But it doesn't change the fact that right now in Merida it's so tough. But I'm assuming that, and you guys can let me know, that it's tough all around the world. I mean, I don't know how it is. You guys can let me know in the comments, like, how is it? Where do you live? How is it right now with the pandemic and your situation? My name is George. Okay, I just missed an E. Haha. Before the pandemic, have you visited Guadalajara, Monterrey? I have not. I have family members that visited Monterrey and love it. And I have friends that have visited Guadalajara and lived in Guadalajara and absolutely love it. And I actually have friends that have been living here in Merida for a long time, but they are moving to Guadalajara in a few days. I've heard such great things about both places. So I haven't, but as soon as there's a little bit of more normalcy with travel, I don't know how that's going to look. I don't know when that is. I'm going to explore more of Mexico. I really haven't explored a whole bunch of Mexico. I want to go check out Mexico City. I want to go to Guadalajara. I want to go everywhere, because I'm telling you guys, Mexico is amazing. So please stop watching the news that's telling you all these bad things about Mexico and come experience it for yourself and leave the resorts, man. Cancun and all that stuff does not give you the right feel. I went to Cancun back in October, and I was actually shocked. It just felt so weird. It didn't feel like Mexico at all. I was like, what is going on? Same with Playa del Carmen, which a lot of people love, and I spent 6 weeks there, and it is a great place, but it's very touristy, and it kind of lacks culture. And one of the beautiful things about Mexico is it has so many culture, and it's different depending on where you are in Mexico. And if you really want to be amongst the Mexican people, like, there are just better places for that. Let's see what's happening here. Gotta run. Bye, Callie. Tamika says Atlanta, Georgia, you in Atlanta. And they went back to Atlanta for a little bit, and then I think the husband came back over here. And I was hearing that Atlanta's kind of like, you know, there's no, and sometimes when clients like show me that we do a daily like Marco Polo video chat, I just check in with them daily, and people will be showing, they're like, everyone's at the beach, everyone's at just having a good old time, and you wouldn't even think there's a pandemic. My friend Chanel Morales, she lives in the UK, and they're totally at bars and just like, and we're here in our houses. Like, I am in these 4 walls. I snuck, I'll tell you guys a quick story. I snuck to the beach. This was a couple weeks ago. It was so funny. I went live about this. I mean, it wasn't funny at the time, but basically something happened to me. This is like karma. So, the beaches are closed, but we heard they had opened up. So we went down, we had reserved a restaurant on the beach. We get there and we find out we can't go onto the beach. We can eat at this restaurant, enjoy our food, which we did for a couple hours with friends, but the beach was closed. We tried to get on and they like pulled us off. It was crazy. So then my friend and I are adventurous souls. She's a single mom. She has a 4-year-old just like me, and it was just me and my 4-year-old at the time because of the car restrictions. And we decided we're gonna get on this beach no matter what, right? So we go, we drive down the road, we find this secluded place. There's no one for miles, and we get on the beach and we're just loving. We haven't touched like the ocean water in over 4.5 months, and it was just free. The babies were all swimming with us. We're having this great time. I'm about to get out the water and something stabs my ankle and pulls out, and I couldn't see what it was. I just quickly like grab the baby. I yell for my friend. I'm like, Colleen, and she looks at me. She sees my face. She's like, oh God, I didn't want to. I get out. It turns out it wasn't so bad. Like visually, it was extreme pain, but visually, it was just like a hole, 2 holes, or whatever. So we drive. We're like 45 minutes, an hour away from our home in Merida because we're in Progreso, a smaller town. I'm like, I'm not going to the hospital here. I've told my kids repeatedly over the last 4 months, you're not allowed to get hurt during these 4 months because we're in the middle of a pandemic. I'm not going to a hospital, but. My friend ended up, we dropped off the baby with my teenagers, the baby's hers too. Went to the hospital. Everything worked out, guys. He like was able to push out, I guess, the poison or something. I didn't stop breathing. It was fine. We don't know what it was, but there definitely was some poison. I was having a reaction to it, which is why the level of pain was so severe. But that hospital experience was scary too, because like we pulled to emergency room. I can't walk. The guy's all in like this COVID suit. And he's like, you can't come in here. This is all COVID patients. And I'm just like telling my friend, don't leave my side. I don't want to get locked up in this hospital. It was so crazy. It worked out well. But it was like, it was like funny telling him I got attacked in the ocean. Well, you're not supposed to be in the ocean right now. Like nobody's in it. And that's part of why that happened is that nobody's been in the water for like over 4 months. So I was on House Hunters International, yours truly. You can look up the episode. It is, what is it? My 3 daughters in Merida? I think it's something like that. Don't cross out Progresso to me. You guys saw with like land animals taking over places. Well, like the sea creatures have taken back their water, right? It was not funny at the time. I can laugh about it now. I'm grateful it wasn't one of our little ones or didn't, because they were all the way in the water with us. So if it stabbed someone else, and then my friend was the driver, this could have been a complete disaster, but it wasn't. And I totally say it was worth it. It was so worth it for that one day of adventure to be attacked by some wild sea creature. Let me see some of these comments. George says, they say that people from Monterey are like Texans, but they speak Spanish. That's hilarious. Well, I'm a Texan, so yours truly. My family's from Guadalajara. I used to go there every summer. Puerto Vallarta is beautiful. I've heard great things about both. Thanks, Rian. I think I'm saying Ryan Shaw. It might be Ryan or Ryan. I never know. I'm so bad at pronouncing names. Yeah, I'm glad that it all worked out. And I guess I'll probably do it all over again. I'm terrified of oceans now. It was so worth it to get out of the house and go on an adventure. I'm such an adventurous soul. My friend is too, and so are my kids. So it's been really tough. Oh no, my phone's dying, so it might be time for me to get off this live. But if you guys want me to go live more, just let me know. You can comment and say, yeah, your crazy lives. Get on there more. I love it. I love talking with everyone. I love answering questions. Which episode? So what I'll have to do is look after this and put it in the comments. I'll try and reply to your comment with the episode number. Because I'm not really sure. It aired back in, I don't even know. Sure. But anyways, for those guys that do, drop the link to the members club, and I'll put a trial within very soon because it's past the hour mark. And then I'm actually be closing the doors to our members club and 400 and something in this space with you guys. My Instagram is Amoya Shante. So everything across the board for me except for my blog that's in the middle of a rebrand. So you'll see Trippin' Mama or whatever, but Amoya Shante all together is how you'll find me on Instagram. I'm gonna have someone go in my videos and start adding that. I'm not very good at that because I don't consider myself a YouTuber. But these people with all these fancy editing and cameras and stuff, like I just turn on the camera and start talking or but yeah, Amoya Shante is where you can find my Instagram. It's where you can find my Facebook. I hang out. That's where I spend my time. But thank you all for joining me. And I hope to go live and see everybody soon. And if you're jumping on for the replay, to say replay and ask any questions you want to ask, I will go back in and reply to your comments. But I hope everyone has a good day. And I just got to figure out how to end the live, which I have no idea how to do. Let's see.